The 10-year yield recently rose above 5% and continues near that level. Let's bring in Michele Schneider. She's the Chief Market Strategist at the MarketGauge Group. Hello to you, Mish. And doesn't this high 10-year yield help the Fed's inflation fight? Right now, there's just about a 5% chance the Fed would raise rates at its next meeting next week because it doesn't have to. So how is this likely going to work?
Well, that's a great question, Angie. So a couple of things that are interesting developments this week. One is Bill Ackman said he was finally covering his short in bonds, thinking that because of all the stress that we're seeing throughout the world, that bonds could rally as a flight to safety. And so as a trader, this intrigues me because we already know what the damage has been. And yes, in some ways, there is talk about the fact that these rising yields have done the job for the Fed already. But if we see the reversal of that and the yields start to go up, yes, of course, that will be a relief in many areas of the economy and for many companies, and certainly for people, which people have been the one bright spot, actually, of the economy. The consumer has hung in there. But as a trader, what it also means is that it's kind of like a double-edged sword. You might get this nice relief, particularly as we've held some really critical levels in the indices. But you could also goose inflation, which of course would then start the cycle all over again with the Fed being a little bit behind the eight ball if they pause too much. So yeah, it's a really interesting time. But the way we're looking at it right now is that if you want to look at the overall trend, we could see a nice bounce in equities, but we still have a lot of damage and a lot of uncertainty. But in terms of the raw materials and the goods, and particularly if we're looking at the grains, the softs, cocoa made a new high from 1979. It's 1979. That means also probably another push for inflation.
What's your trade of the day?
eHealth, believe it or not, EHTH. And it actually on the chart looks pretty good here as long as it holds around the 795.8 level and gets through 850. That could be an interesting time because eHealth, of course, is, teledoc type of situation. And it's a trend that people believed in, and after COVID worked great. But now it kind of declined, so it could be coming back into vogue. So that's kind of, we got eyes all over the place, but that's the one I decided popped into my head as we're talking.
We thank you very much, Mish.
Thank you so much, Angie.
Go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.